Hello aspirants, today I discuss 2017 Prelim Paper 2 CSAT question papers. You all know we just discussed CSAT's reading and comprehensions and all are most likely all are just revision purpose, nothing else. First passage is what climate change will undeniably do is cause or amplify events that hastens the reductions or resources computations over these. Diminishing resources would ensure the in the form of political or even violent conflicts. Resources based conflicts have rarely been overt and are thus difficult to isolate. Instead, they take on veneers that appear more politically palatable. Conflicts over resources like water are often cloaked in the guise of identity or ideology. So, question is, what does the above passage imply? First options, resource-based conflicts are always politically motivated. Option B, there are no political solutions to resolve environmental and resource-based conflicts. Option C, environmental issue contributes to resource crisis and political conflicts. Option D, political conflicts based on identity or ideology cannot be resolved. So answer is very easy. Answer is say C. Environmental issues contributes to resource crisis and political conflict. So we go to next passage. Next passage is the man who is perpetually hesitating, so which of the two things he will do first will do neither. The man who resolves but suffers his resolutions to be changed by the first counter suggestions of a friend who fluctuates from opinion to opinion and veers from plan to plan can never accomplish anything. He will at best be stationary and probably retrograde in all. It is only the man who first consults wisely, then resolves firmly, and then executes his purpose with inflexible perseverance, undismayed by those petty difficulties which which daunt a weaker spirit that can advance to eminence in one line. So, question number 2. The keynote that seems to be emerging from the passage is that option A, we should first consult wisely and then resolve firmly. Option B, we should reject suggestions of friends and remain unchanged. Option C, we should always remain broad minded. Option D, we should be resolute and achievements oriented. Answer is option A, we should first consult wisely and then resolve firmly. Passage 3. During the summers in the Arctic oceans, sea ice has been melting earlier and faster, and the winter freeze has been coming later. In the last 3 decades, the extent of summer ice has declined by about 30%. The lengthening periods of summers melt threatens to undermine the whole Arctic food webs, crops which plant polar bears. Questions: which among the following is the most crucial message conveyed by the above passage? First options: the climate change is caused Arctic summers to be short but temperatures to be high. Option B: polar bears can be shifted to South Pole to ensure their survival. Option C: without the presence of polar bears, the food chains in Arctic regions will disappear. Option D: climate change poses a threat to the survival of polar bear. Answer is option D. Climate change poses a threat to the survival of polar bears. We have next passage. Why do peoples prefer open defecations and not one toilet, or if they have then only use them sometimes? Recent research has shown two critical elements: ideas of purity and pollutions, and not wanting pits or septic tanks to fill because they have to be emptied. These are the issue that nobody want to talk about. But if we want to eradicate the practice of open defecations, they have to be confronted and dealt properly. So, which among the following is the most crucial message conveyed by the above passage? Option A. The idea of purity and pollutions are so deep rooted that they cannot be removed from the minds of the peoples. Option B. Peoples have to perceive toilet use and spit emptying as clean and not polluting. Option C. People cannot change their old habit. Option D. People have neither civic sense nor sense of privacy. So, question number 4, answer is very easy. Answer is B. People have to perceive toilet use and pit emptying as clean and not polluting. So, we go for passage 5. In the last 2 decades, the world gross domestic products GDP has increased by 50%, whereas inclusive wealth has increased by a mark 6% in recent decades. GDP driven economic performance has only harmed inclusive wealth like human capital and natural capital like forest, lands, and water. Forest, lands, and water, while the world's human capital, which stands at 57% of total inclusive wealth, grew by only 8%. The natural capital, which is 23% of total inclusive wealth, declines by 30% worldwide in the last 2 decades. Which of the following is the most crucial inference from the above passage? First options, more emphasis should be laid on the developments of natural capitals. Option B, the growth driven by GDP only is neither desirable nor sustainable. Option C, the economic performance of the countries of the world is not satisfactory. Option D, the world needs more human capital under the present circumstances. Question number 5, answer is B. The growth driven by GDP only is neither desirable nor sustainable. Passage 6. By 2020, when the global economy is expected to run short of 56 million young people, India with its youth surplus of 47 millions could all the gap. It is in this context the labor reforms are often cited as the way to unlock double-digit growth in India. In 2014, India's labor force was estimated to be about 40% of the population, but 93% of this force was in unorganized sectors. Over the last decades, the compound annual growth rate CAGR or employment has slowed to 0.5% with about 14 million jobs created. During last years, when the labor force increased by about 15 million. So question is, which of the following is the most rational reference from the above passage? Option A, India must control its population's growth so as to reduce its unemployment rates. Option B, labor reforms are required in India is make optimum use of its vast labor force productivity. Option C, India is poised to achieve the double digit growth very soon. Option D, India is capable of supplying the skills young peoples to other countries. So question 6, answer is B. Labor reforms are required in India to make optimum use of its vast labor force productively. Passage 7. The very first lessons that should be taught to us when we are old enough to understand it is that complete freedoms from the obligations to work is unnatural and ought to be illegal, as we can escape our shares of the burden of work only by throwing it on someone else's shoulders. Nature ordains that the human race shall perish of famines. If it stop working, we cannot escape from this tyranny. The questions we have to settle is how much leisure we can afford to allow ourselves. The main idea of the passage is that it is essential for human beings to work. There should be a balance between work and leisure. Working is a tyranny which we have to face. Humans' understandings of the natures of work is essential. So question number 7 answer is A. It is essential for human beings to work. Passage 8. There is no harm in cultivating habits so long as they are not injurious. Indeed, most of us are little more than bundles of habits. Take away our habits and the residuums would hardly be worth bothering about. We could not get on without them. They simplify the mechanisms of life. They enable us to do a multitudes of things automatically, which if we had to give fresh and original thoughts to them each time would make existence on impossible confusions. The author suggests that habits tend to make our lives difficult, add precisions to our lives, make it easier for us to lives, tend to mechanize our lives. So question number 8 answer is C. Make it easier for us to live. So thank you. Today I close here because I have no time. Thank you. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.